Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to continue with the three-part series of our complete Hostinger e-commerce website with HTML and CSS. In the previous video, we built the login page, the sign-up page, and the cart page. In this video, we are going to build the product details page with this image at the left with some zoom effects. We have some title here, the price, the filter. We can filter by sizes. We have this add to cart button, the quantity we can change to any quantity we want. We have the details, the description of the product, and below that we have related products. Now if you click add to cart, it takes us to the cart page. Now let's go back. This is the shop page we are also going to create in this video. We have this filter here. We can filter by sorting, price, popularity, sale rating, and if I click on this, it should take us to the product details where we can also view the product. Look at this nice zoom effect. All right, without wasting my time, let's get into the video. The first thing I'm going to do is to create a new file with the name product.html. Now what we are going to do is to go to our login page, copy everything in the login.html, go back to the product.html and paste it here. Now, before the footer, let's copy everything there to this container class and remove it, and let's put a comment here, all products. Go to the title of the page and change it to products. Let's save this. Let's open this with live server. So I'm going to click on this, go live, and we have our product section. Now let's go back to our product.html and start writing some code. We are going to start with a section, and this section should have a class of section and a secondary class of all products. Within this, let's have a top class, which is a div with another class of container. Then within the container, let's have our h1 with a text of all products. So products. Below the heading, let's have a form. We don't need the action. And within this form, let's have our section elements. So section. And this section should have options. So option, the first value should be 1. Copy this down 4 times. Change the second value to, let's say, 2. And the text for the first option should be default sorting. Then the second text should be sort by price. Now the third should have a value of 3. Let's change this one to 4, 5. And now let's go to the third and give it a text of sort by popularity. And the fourth should have sort by sale. The last one should have a text of sort by rating. Let's save this. Below the top div, let's have another div. But before that, after the section, we need a span here. So a span, and this span should have an icon. So I with bx.bx dash chevron. Don't know if the spelling is right. Dash down. Let's save this. Now below the top div, we are going to start with a div with a class product center. Dash center. And a secondary class of container, our container. Within this, we are going to copy the code for a single product. So let's go to index.html. I think we can get one of the code here. So let's copy this code for a single product. Copy this, close the index.html. Now in the product.html, let's paste it here. We are going to change this. Okay, this one is product details. It is correct. We are going to copy this and paste it down, let's say 7 times. So just duplicate it 7 times using Shift Alt and the down arrow key. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Save this. Change the various images. Let's make this one, maybe just give them random images. Let's give this one 5. Let's give this one maybe 1. Let's give this maybe 8. There's no, okay, there's an 8. No, not 8. Let's give it 4. This should have maybe 3. This should be 6. This should be maybe 1. Maybe this one should be maybe 7. Okay, so the first one, I think, okay, 7 is all right. Let's save this. And now let's go to our browser and check. And we have our products. Also, we have all products, which is the filtering. So we have to write some class for the filtering. So for the filtering, let's go to our styles.css. Let's leave a comment of all products. Now in the styles.css, we're going to select our section. So section, and we need a top. Let's give it display of flex, align item center, not this, not align content, align items, item center. Let's give it justify content of space between. So justify content space between. Also margin bottom should be 4rem. Now let's get the select element from. So let's say all products, and we need a top. Let's get our select element. Let's give it font of, I don't know which font we included, Poppins. So let's give it font of Poppins. Then sans serif. Let's give it a width of 20rem. So 20rem. A padding of 1rem. And border should be 1 pixel. 1 pixel solid. CCC. Let's give it appearance of none. Also, let's give it outline of none. Now let's select our form. So we say form. So let's say all products form. Let's give it position relative. Position relative. So position relative. And let's give it z index of 1. Now let's select the span in the form. So this, we need a span. Let's give it position of absolute. Absolute. Let's give it top of 50%. Right should be 1rem. Let's say transform to translate y. Let's give it negative 50%. And font size should be 2rem. Then let's give it z index of 0. Z index of 0. Now let's go to our browser, and we have this, which is not appearing well. Maybe I'm not selecting. So let's say this, all products. No, not, yeah, all products. This is a form, the span, select. Since we are making some mistake somewhere, let's go back to our code and product. Let's see, select. We have the various options. Oh, we have a mistake here. Instead of select, we wrote section. So here should be select, not section. Now let's go back to our browser, and we should have our select element. We can select different. So now what is left is the pagination. So go back to product.html, and below the section, the ending section tag, we're going to start with another section with a class of pagination, and let's give it a container, and within it let's have some spans. This is having a value of 1. Copy this down, change this to, let's say, 2, this to 3, this to 4, and the last one, let's give it an icon. So you say bx dash red, let's give it arrow dash alt. Save this, go back to the browser, and we have our pagination. It needs some styling, so to our styles of CSS, and here we are going to start with a comment. But before that, let's write some media query for just one line media query. So media, here we say max width, and let's say max width of 768 pixels. For all products we want to select, let's get a select, this select, and let's give it a width of 15 rem. Then move the other styles. Let's remove this, save this. Now below that, let's start with our comment, which is pagination. Then we select our pagination class and give it display of flex, align items center. Let's give it padding of 3 rem, 0, 5 rem, and 0. Let's get a span from the pagination. So span, display inline block. Also, let's give it a padding of, let's say, padding of 1 rem, then 1.5 rem. Let's give it border 1 pixel, solid, var, our green color. Let's give it font size of, let's say, 1.8 rem, and margin bottom should be 2 rem. Cursor should be pointer, and transition should be all 300 milliseconds, ease in and out. Let's save this. Now when we hover over the span, let's give it a border of this color. So let's just copy this down, paste it here, and let's give it a background color. So background color of var green. Also, let's give it a text color of, so color of white. Save this, go to our browser, and we have our pagination, our product, our filter, and the title. The next thing is to start with the product details page, which we haven't created, so we can see cannot get. So we go to our text editor, create a new file with the name product details.html. Let's copy everything within the product.html. Then within the product details, let's paste this and remove everything. So let's remove this. Where is it? We need up to product center. So let's remove everything. Okay, we don't need this one also. Now let's put a comment here in product details. Save this. All right, let's start with a section with a class of section, and let's give it another class of product dash detail. Within this, let's have our container class, and it should also have a class of details container. And let's have our left. Let's also give it another class of image container, and let's put a div here with a class of main. Within this div, let's have our image img. Let's go into our images folder and look for product 8. Let's give our image an ID of zoom. This is the ID I'm going to use for the zoom. Then below the left, let's have the right, so a div with a class of right. And within this div, let's start with our span with a text of home/t-shirt. Save this. Below the span, let's have an h1, which is a title, and let's give this one boys t-shirt, and let's say by handsome. Then below the h1, let's have our price, so it's a div with a class of price. And here let's give it any price, maybe $100. And below the price, I want to have our filtering, which is the form. And within this form, let's have a div. And within the div, let's start with our select. We don't need this. And we need our options. The first one, I want to give it a value of select size. Then let's do selected. Then let's say disable, so disabled. And within, let's give it a text of select size, so let's say size. Then below this option, let's have another option, this one with a value of 1, and the text should be 32. Copy this down, change this one's value to 2. This should be 42. These are the sizes, so 42. This should be 3 rather, and this should be 52, and this should be 4, and the text should be 62. Now below the select, let's have a span, and within the span we want an icon bx dash chevron again, and we want it down. Now after the form, we need another form, so this form, we need another form, but this will have a class of form. We don't need the action. Let's remove this. And within the form, let's have our input, which should be text, and a placeholder of 1, so placeholder of 1. Then below the input, let's have a button, so we are going to say button, the class of add cart. Then a text, let's say add to cart. Now let's give this one cart.html. Now below the form, let's have an h3, that's for the description, so we say product detail. Then below the h3, I'm going to have, let's say, paragraph, so lorem, let's give lorem of, let's say, 40. Save this, and we have everything. Let's go back to our browser and check if we have this content. Okay, we have everything, the image and the right side also. Let's go to our styles and give them some nice styling. Okay, let's select our class, which is, first let's leave a comment of product detail. Then let's select our product detail class, so product dash detail. We want the details. Then let's give a display of grid and grid template columns. Let's give this one 1fr, 1.2 fr. Then let's give it a gap of 7 rem. Let's select our product detail again, but let's check if the classes are correct. Product details. Okay, the classes are correct. Product detail, we want the left, and display should be flex. Then we want flex, direction should be column. And let's select our main from our left. So main, let's give it text align of center. Align center. And we want background color should be F6, F2, F1. Then let's give it a margin bottom of 2 rem. Height should be 45 rem. And let's select the image from the main div. We want the image. Let's give it object fit of cover, and height should be 100% for the object fit to work. Then width should be 100%. Now let's select the span from the right. We're going to start with the span. So we need a span from the right. So we need this product detail. Sorry, not so copy. Product detail. We want the right, and we need a span. Then let's give it display inline block. Font size should be font size should be, let's give it 1.5 rem. Margin bottom should be 1 rem. Let's go to the browser and check if everything is corresponding correctly. Okay, now to our styles again. Now we need a H1. Let's change this to H1. Let's give it font size of 4 rem. I think 4 rem will be good. Let's give it line height of, let's say 1.2. So just 1.2. Let's move the rem. Also, let's give it margin bottom of 2 rem. Now let's select our price div. So price, the price, we want the price, and let's give it font weight of 600. Font size should be, font size should be 2 rem. Then color should be our green color. Then margin bottom, let's give it 2 rem. 2 rem. Now let's select the div in the right. So the div, and let's give it display inline block. Position relative. Then z index of -1. Now we need the select from the right. So this, we need the select. Then let's give it font family. So we need to go and copy the one we did for the, is it select? Let's copy these styles here. Go back to our select again, then paste it here, and let's do some changes. The width should be 20. The padding should be 0.7. We need a border, appearance none, outline none. Okay, let's go to the next thing, which is a form. So we need our right, and we need a form from it. Let's remove the right from there. Then we need the margin bottom should be 2 rem, z index of 0. Now let's select the span from the form. The span. Let's give it position of absolute. Then top should be 50%. Let's give it right of 1 rem. Transform of translate y. Let's say y. Let's give it -50%. Then font size should be 2. Font size, not font style. Font size should be 2 rem. and let's set z index to 0. Now let's select this form class. Where is it? The form class, where is it? This form class. So the form class, but before that, let's go to the browser and check our changes. Okay, we have our select, but the button we haven't styled it yet. Okay, let's go. We need the form, so let's have our details, and we need the form class. Let's give margin bottom of 3 rem. Then let's select our input from the form class. So we need the input. Let's give it padding of, let's say, 0.8 rem, and text align should be center. Let's give it a width of 3.5 rem, and margin right should be 2 rem. And let's select the cut from our form. So let's say add cut, and let's give it background color of our green color. Then padding should be 0.8 rem, 0.8, then 4 rem. Now let's give it color of white, and border radius of, let's say, 3 rem. Then let's select the H3 from the product detail. So product detail, we need the H3, and let's give it text transform of upper. Then let's set margin bottom to, let's say, 2 rem. Let's go to our browser, and we have this nice form where you can change the value. We have the select also, which nothing is happening. Let's inspect this. So this, let's see, the z index is not working. Z index has no effect on the element since it's not a position. So we have to give it position. We forgot to give it position. Where is it? Position absolute. Let's go back. Not absolute. Let's give relative and see. Relative. Okay, now we have our select. Now we have the details. Okay, we need some, let's give some related products here before we do our zoom. But before that, let's write some short media query here. So at media, let's say the screen size, let's give it max width of 996 pixels. Then let's select our product detail. We want the left, and let's give it width of 30 rem, and height should be 45 rem. Now let's select our details. So product, they want details. Let's give it gap of 3 rem. Let's copy this down, change the value to 650. So 650. Then we need our product data. So let's move this. Okay, the left, we need it. Let's give it a width of 100% and height of still 45. Then the product details, let's give it a grid, columns of 1 FR. Now let's get our right. We can copy this down and change the left to right. So right, then let's give it a margin top of let's say 1 rem. Then let's get our details, which is, okay, let's give it, the gap is already there, so gap of 3. All right, everything is correct. So let's go to, where did we include that? The cat.html, and the code for related product. Let's copy this Let's copy everything and go and paste it below the, so before the footer. Let's paste it here and save. Go back to our browser and we have our related products. Now let's start with the Zoom. The Zoom, we need a plugin which is Zoom SL.js. So we need this jQuery one. So select this, styling this. So we need this. Then here is the plugin. We have the demo and the download. Below you can see. So first you have to just click download, and I already have it downloaded, so I'm not going to click it. Let me click close. Let me go back again. Then here we need to copy some scripts. So we need this script. Let's copy this. So click copy. Let's go and paste it below our, so let's place it here. Yeah, let's save this. Then let's do this wall. All right, now we need to include the script. So you have to go to your downloaded folder. So go to downloads where you downloaded the script. So this is the zip file, stylish. So this is the zip file. Unzip it and you have the folder here. Click on this also. Then we have the minified version. So you copy this. So let's just bring this here. Then I'm going to drag it into the JS. Then close this. Now below the, okay, we have to enter into our JS folder before. Here below, so we have that. Now let's start with a script. Let's write some small script for the function. So we start with our addition. Let's say function, and here let's do something like, so we select our Zoom class for the image. That's the ID, not Zoom. So the ID that we gave to the Zoom, we give the image, where is it, the image and ID of Zoom. So you are selecting that ID. Then I'm going to say dot image Zoom SL, then parentheses, curly braces, Zoom range should be, then we need square brackets 4 by 4. Save this. Now let's go to our browser and see if it works or we've done something wrong. Okay, it works. So let's scroll up and see. Everything works. Now we can zoom. So guys, if you like this content, please go to my channel, which is Codevo, then subscribe to my channel so that I can reach 10,000 subscribers. Right now I'm at 8.76k. So help me reach 10,000 subscribers. Cheers and see you in the next video.